Guys, Pet Zerglin here and Daz bring you the first game of the first series of the semifinals. This is Luxury versus ZerO. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if I expected to see either of these guys here. Luxury with just an amazingly difficult path. First going through Hwasun and then going through, was it Lita? Yeah, and two just epic series. Both of those series were just amazing. They went to just a full extended games. Every single game was just great. And on the other hand, I don't want to discredit ZerO. He did take out Yark and he did take out Savior, but ZerO's had an entirely Zerg versus Zerg path here all the way to the semifinals. And now we're seeing him against Luxury, another Zerg versus Zerg. Considering that ZerO isn't really in any of the other individual leagues very far, and although he does play a lot for Woongjin, has actually been doing pretty poorly for them, so he's probably been training his Zerg versus Zerg for a long time. But Luxury, I would say, is one of the better Zerg versus Zerg players. I would consider him right up there with maybe Jaedong and Great. And every single game with ZerO so far, I've said ZerO is going to lose, and ZerO ended up winning. So I don't know what to say here, but I guess I'm just going to stick to my guns. And I'm going to say I think Luxury is going to win. ZerO is definitely going to be able to take a game the way he's playing lately, but I don't even know. I don't think he's going to be able to beat Luxury in a best of 5. What do you think?
I agree with you completely. I think ZerO has gotten really far, but I don't think that he is this good. He's not really at this level. His ZBZ has been really good. He took series off good players, Yarnak and Savior, but neither of those guys are really ZBZ specialists, which unfortunately for him is not the case for Luxury. Luxury's ZBZ is awesome. I think he has something like a 60, always has a 70% win ratio, something like 66, 67% win ratio.
67, yep.
Yeah, I think it's his best matchup, so he's going to be no slouch. Anyway, they're starting it off, so we're going to sync it here. 2, 1, 0. Savior's a guy on the comeback, and he's been playing really well lately, but even in his top form, his ZBZ was never the best. And Yarnak, he's a guy who's a good player, and he's been in really good form lately, but his ZBZ also has never been his best matchup. Even still right now, I mean, you could arguably say it was his weakest matchup. So while all credit goes to him for winning those 2 games, he's facing a different kind of beast right now in Luxury. He's, I think, a different caliber of ZBZer. And even though, just like you said, like, we've predicted ZerO to lose every single series so far, like, I can't see why I would change that now, and I'm going to predict him to lose this series as well. And if he proves me wrong, well, fucking hell, like, for him. Yeah.
So, but you know the funny thing is, if he proves us wrong, even if he beats Luxury 3-0, we're still going to pick him to lose in the finals. So I feel bad for the kid. Like, I know our opinion of him doesn't really matter, but I don't think there's much that he can do, really, to prove himself to us. I mean, we just pretty much rip on this guy every single game.
Well, if he wins the MSL, that will shut me up. But, like,
no, I'll call it a fluke.
If he wins this, I'm still predicting him to lose in the finals. But if he wins the whole thing, I'm going to be... I'll shut up. I'll give him some credit. Anyway, we're off to a pretty normal start.
ZerO throwing down a 9 pool, and Luxury, just for clarification, Orange Zerg bottom right, and ZerO in the white Zerg in the bottom left. ZerO putting down a spawning pool. Interesting build here. Pool on 9, then he builds another drone and goes through the extractor. Pretty standard build. And this is the way that you do this.
9 pool fast gas.
Yeah, shut up. That's a standard build. And
yeah,
look at that. It looks like Luxury went for the
gas
overpool.
before pool.
No, I mean that's really something that I think. It's new age. I definitely think this 9 pool gas is a little bit old school, but it's still definitely viable now. But Luxury really getting an effective counter to what ZerO's doing. Luxury, although he didn't go for an early hatchery, and he's going to go for, it looks like an overpool. It might have been a 12 pool. No. Yeah, he is going for an expansion into expansion, right. So this is going to be a really strong build order against ZerO, because ZerO went for that early gas in the early pool. He's then right into lair, not even bothering with Zergling speed. And this is going to be pretty advantageous to Luxury, I think, because he went for the expansion and ZerO did not scout him. He's going to have his Zerglings out in time to defend, and he's going to to have his lair out in time to get Mutalisk, so this is a real big advantage for Luxury.
Yeah, I agree. This is just not a good build order for ZerO. I mean, you just kind of got some bad luck here. Especially the fact that they're scouting each other. And like he's going, oh man, he's going all the way to the top, so he's going to be so late. Okay, turning down now, so he didn't waste that much time. He caught it in a reasonable time. That's one of the things that sucks in ZVZ about not scouting your opponent first. But at the very least, Luxury didn't scout him first either. Either way, it's not really going to matter. Luxury's going to have these Zerglings here in time. Even if he had
canceled the hatchery.
Oh wow, he canceled it? I guess maybe why would he cancel that? I guess he's doing
I don't know.
Super
He was
safe,
really
I don't know. That was a good idea.
That was a terrible
that's strange.
idea.
He definitely could have held that. I mean, I don't know why he would cancel it. He had his 5th and 6th Zerglings coming. He now has more Zerglings there than ZerO. So I had no idea what he was thinking there. Anyway, now they're basically mirroring each other, except for
still ZerO's or Luxury's got the advantage there.
But you know what?
35, but that's a pretty big fan base, especially for.
I would have thought it would be more. I would have thought it would have been more favored for Luxury.
They say
Not that I say it
Luxury's
should
a really
be, but I thought it would have
Zerg
been.
versus Zerg player in practice, and some people even say that he's better, or at least at the same level as Jaedong in practice, but sometimes he has problems in televised games. But I really hope to see his best play here, but he's been playing so well lately. He's 1-0 in the OSL round of 8, and he's in the MSL semifinals, so he's just been doing so good. But that was, I have to imagine this was a practice move here, that Luxury has some kind of strategy after he cancels that hatchery, because he immediately canceled that. A hatchery has 1,250 hit points, so you can have some buying time and some thinking time if you need to think, well, how many Zerglings does he have? Does I need to pull back? But he instantly canceled that and pulled back the second he saw those Zerglings, even though it was overpool. And I don't know, this is a really interesting build, and he's building up Zerglings. And one thing ZerO's really known for doing is, oh my god, he's in a drone drill, he's moving up the drones. He totally messed up those Zerglings, but his formation is pretty bad still, so he didn't get the best of that. But nonetheless, he's clearing out these Zerglings. Why is ZerO being so aggressive here? He's right at the edge of the ramp, but if Luxury pushes up like that, he's going to have to back up, and he lost a lot of Zerglings. That really wasn't a fair exchange, and I think, at the very least, yeah, ZerO's going to have to put up a sunken colony. And look at that, ZerO's been building drones. This is one thing that I really don't like about ZerO's play, is it's almost luck-based in that he builds a lot of drones and hopes his opponent isn't going to go for something like this. But now that he has the mutas out, he's going to put a stem on these Zerglings. But Luxury immediately spreading the Zerglings, trying to avoid casualties there, but he lost still 3 or 4, and 6 Zerglings going into the base. The Sun Colony's already up, so nice reaction from ZerO. Props there, and he really minimized this attack, so he's going to have some extra drones here, even though he lost that sunken colony, and now he's got that availability of the second gas, so he's going to just pretty much sit tight and make sure Luxury doesn't take his expansion, and eventually build up a few drones to be able to take advantage of that gas.
Yeah, but I think all those extra drones that he built, I think that just kind of caught him up to Luxury's drone count. Or maybe not, because Luxury just made all those Zerglings, but Luxury definitely had the economic advantage before, just from going for overpool and then getting a second hatchery earlier. Actually, looking at the mineral line right now, it looks like ZerO actually has a few more. So this is going to come down to a Mutalisk battle at this point. ZerO has the advantage because he has that second hatchery at his natural. He has the advantage in terms of that's something that's going to be better for him in the late game. If he can hold that, if he can survive and get his gas up on the hatchery, he's going to eventually win the game. But it all depends on how the battles go right now. And who was it that just lost an Overlord there? I don't know. Neither players are mining.
That was ZerO that lost the Overlord. So not a good move. All these spurs. Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, ZerO getting totally caught. Wow, this is horrible for him. He's taking so many shots. Okay, finally turning around and getting some shots off on his own.
What is ZerO doing? All those Scourge are just sitting there. Look at those AFK units.
What is he doing with those? I guess he was too busy running his own mutts away, but this is awful for him. He's taking so much damage here. I mean, this is really what Luxury needed to kind of catch back up in this game, and I think that's going to caught him back up in Mutalisk count, and this is really a disaster for ZerO. I mean, he was doing good in this game, I think, up until that point happened. Now Luxury's going to do a little bit of harassment. I think Luxury is confident in his Mutalisk numbers, and yeah, he's going to fight him back. And going to, okay, the micro, okay, both microing well there, neither getting the advantage of this situation. Oh, well now that Overlord's there to take some of the extra bounce damage, but Luxury just has so many more Mutalisks, and looks like this is going to be GG. Yeah, and ZerO really messed
Wow.
up there. I mean, he just, like, that's the thing about ZVZ, man. One mistake like that, and the game is over. The tiniest slip up. And I mean, you can't, if you take too many shots on the nuts, and that's it. That's GG. It's over. I mean, you know what? ZerO was playing well. The game was going in his favor, and he just kind of got lazy. He slipped up. He let his Mutalisk get caught out in the open, and Luxury took full advantage of it. And, mad props to Luxury. I mean, that's what happens if you play, you know, the best CVZ players in the world. He's extremely sharp. He's gonna get every opportunity you give him. He's gonna take advantage of that and just completely punish you. And that's really what happened here.
Also keep in mind that Overlord he lost. I don't know how much of an impact that made, but Zerg versus Zerg economy is so tight. And I wanted to point out maybe he actually took out the Overlord, and ZerO was kind of caught with his pants down because he didn't have another Overlord. And he was sitting there with extra larva, and that's what gave Luxury the advantage to push into his base. So excellent control from Luxury, and that's one thing that distinguishes great Zerg versus Zerg players, is their just ability to capitalize on things like that. But I want to keep this before 11 minutes so we can keep it to one part. So let's move on, maybe further analysis in the next game, but stay tuned and peace out, guys.
Peace out.
이게 김명훈 선수가 사실 이득을 그렇게 많이 챙기지는 않았습니다.